gotten so many Optimus Primes in the Generations line. I think we've had enough. I mean, how far can you— oh, that's hot! Everybody knows who Optimus Prime is. If you don't know, I guess you're either new to this neighborhood, or you somehow missed the fortress-sized memo. He's a sign of justice, hope, and admired by most of his Autobots. This Siege figure is probably what started this huge overhaul of Optimus Prime figures. So many produced even a new Masterpiece toy. This was also one of the first figures in the Siege line to be shown. With many Generations Optimus Primes before it, is it worth getting? Optimus Prime transforms into a Cybertronian-style semi-truck for all your alien massive hauling needs, but with an American-flavored color deco. I can tell they didn't want to go extreme with the theme, so it's mostly changed with some modified or additional highlights added. Some people don't like that. Some people prefer just a G1 Prime without all the extra junk. I think the reason War for Cybertron the game got away with it despite going further to the alien form is it celebrates the setting while this is just too close. But I really don't mind. In fact, I like it. A lot of the elements certainly spawn from the origins, mainly the cartoon, but I don't mind changes. It makes it a little more exciting, which is why I grew attached to the early thrilling Generations figures. Notable parts include these thingies near the wheels that could be gunners, and eyebrows, which is a deciding factor for a lot of people, but to me, it's a unique way of showing power.
Optimus, if I could critique, I know you want everybody to be one, but isn't that a simple way of thinking? Should we not celebrate our differences and get along?
You speak when spoken to!
Look deep, and once in a while you'll catch aspects of the original truck molded in. But I love the sharp, strong texture in the line work for this cubic cab with legs on wheels. I love how these panels covered the side and strengthened the toy with pretty aggressive detail. But what are those boxes for? Ammo? Something truck related? Voodoo dolls? I'm not sure if I like the transparent blue. It gives off a nice energy to the presence, but I'm a little confused why they continued the windows with silver paint. That's not even close. There's various blast ports and portholes on the top, smokestacks, 2 on each side, and if you remember to open the panel, 1 on the back. You can combine the weapons and shove it in there as the poor Prime's cargo, destroying any grace. I'm sure there's a trailer you can add instead with a 5mm port, though it is pretty high up, including the one from that Optimus Prime. But can we use the Dark of the Moon trailer? Wow! No. This is actually a real thing as shown from the card game, and there's even tabs to support it despite not showing up in the instructions. You can fold the wheels down for a hover truck mode. There's even a flight stand porthole underneath. I guess inspired by some of the vehicles in the War for Cybertron game. No relation. You can open up the windscreen to reveal a molded-in matrix of leadership. Yes, this figure could be seen as small for a Voyager, especially with the cab compared to the legs sticking out. But I personally think it's a decent size, at least respectable for myself. And no, it can't hook up to the Ultra Magnus armor. Here's a thing you could do: flip up the feet and have rocket boost! I want to make it clear, while I don't have it at this moment, I'm aware that the Earthrise toy is heavily accurate to the cartoon to the point where this is already outdated in its own line a year out. However, we got a Cybertronian equivalent that actually looks like it comes from it. I have no issue with this. Truckwalker. Try to argue. I totally understand why people wouldn't get this for the alt mode, and why people don't gravitate to it. However, I take no issue. I think it's a suitable Cybertronian form that doesn't go too far from the original, but adds a little extra something to the figure. Robot mode. Transformation seems a bit tedious at points. Legs are alright, and there's some interesting tricks with the figure, no doubt, especially considering how often they're able to change the way to get here. However, certain things need to get out of the way, making it a little more work than it feels like it needs to be, but it makes for an impressive looking toy. In robot mode, changes seem subtle, but this looks amazing. One of the most accurate figures to the infamous MP10 in some recognized components, but with a better budget. Ignore that one. I love how the panels swing around to cover up the empty space. Simple things like that just show the extra amount of effort that presents some actual care. What is this thing? Yeah, there's a backpack. There are ways to remove it if you want cliff jumper transformation. Underneath it does look decent and the backpack sticks out from the toy, but it's not the worst thing. At least it's not a complete eyesore, hides some of the other parts, looks like the jetpack he stole from Sideswipe, and really, am I gonna let this ruin the fun? Because damn, he's handsome. Yes, he's got old people flaps on the arms, the smokestacks could be taller, the blue window sticks out here, just doesn't flow with the color scheme, and the scratches don't complement a single thing. But I mean, look at it! The torso is so clean with the wheels sucked into the torso. Earthrise says what? Speaking of, I'm fully aware of the Earthrise, but I like what they're doing with this. You could call him Orion Pax if you want. Not to bash the movie style, but when I see this, I see a killing machine. And some of the other designs just don't carry the very iconic energy that I see here. It sells between heroic warrior and thoughtful kind spirit. Although Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime looks like the edgy shredded version of this, and this is a PC. That head sculpt says everything. It's so clean, elegant, and stern with the tall ears, head crest, and mouth plate painted over with a nice silver. The eyes look pretty good too, if you don't mind non-yellow-eyed Optimus Prime toys. Did someone say, Articulation? Ball jointed head, shoulders forward and back, panel moves, out and in, rotation below, elbow bend, wrist rotation, waist rotation, hips out and in, forward and back, rotation below, another rotation below, knee bend, foot tilt, heel and toes move. Goodness, this is one of the most poseable Optimus Prime figures, extending further than the masterpiece in areas, with an extended elbow, really far knee bend, unnecessary for the transformation, and even this backwards butterfly joint makes the masterpiece look basic. It's so much fun to move around. Well, there's a disappearing Matrix magic trick. Where did it go? You can slip into Prime Master. There's also a blast port inside, so you can take a thin, long blast, plug it in, and have this effect. There's also detail that looks like a chair. Why does the truck have the robot insides and the robot have the truck insides? Let's take a look at the accessories. He comes with a WM3 RF Ion Blaster, which we all know where this came from. There's a peg hole on top, and all the gaps really don't help it visually. I get why they did it, and you could argue this is more of an alien theme, but it just looks like lines and emptiness. This is the Tron weapon. He also comes with a W-50 Dual-Mech Energon Strikeshield. This forms a shield with a peg on the side to attach to the arm. You can plug it on the gun, but that's not helping. It also opens up to become a large axe. There's a certain order to open it, but it looks pretty good for a person wearing women's clothing and being a lumberjack. Nice silver paint, wonderful Autobot logo molded in, blast ports, and it's a nice addition that feels like a hand-me-down from the animated form. And Ultra Magnus doesn't have a hammer. That's not fair. Speaking of, the armor can't attach, but there's an Optimus for that. Blast ports in certain areas all over the figure, and portholes on the feet, 2 each, 1 on the side of the legs, hands, 2 on each arm, and 2 on the back. There is a logo, but only on one side, and I like the addition of paint with the yellow and white. Wait, they got yellow and they didn't paint the eyes with it? Blasphemy! I love how you could take a larger figure and it won't overshadow him. He just looks like he's commanding it. Want more? Take the kibble on the arm, flip it around, and arm blasts! I understand people will want the Earthrise figure despite paying more for a rectangle included with the set. However, I still consider this Optimus Prime toy to be absolutely solid, bringing us to the roots of what makes Optimus Prime himself. There's a few different recolors and variants, but whichever form you get, I can say this is far from a bad toy. To be honest, when I saw it originally, I wasn't interested. It's another Optimus Prime for release. But I was wrong in thinking that, because this is an awesome figure. I can hear him telling me to spay and neuter my pets.